see if it actually freaking works. I'm still waiting for the video to appear. I can see me.
Okay, can you see me when I talk?
Yes. All right. Good.
Okay, good.
All right.
Got it.
Whew. Man. This was all a ploy just so I could be the host.
Oh, I think you've done that to me before.
Just kidding. But I told the tale of Chewie's demise and his resurrection.
Awesome.
So if you missed that, then the other video, the one that had me as the quote unquote voice of God, as was said by someone in the chat, you can check that out there just to keep up on what's going on with Chewie. But he's back and he's doing fine. I'm just trying to, I've been trying to sell some things in the various groups to get the money to pay for his whole ordeal. Just because I want to take responsibility since it was my fault basically, and I told my wife like I will pay for it. Like don't take money out of our account to pay for it. Because she's been wanting, basically she wants to get the kitchen redone, and I don't want to have to delay that by like another month or something. But anyway, how you been?
How you doing? Good. Do you want to see something cool that I got for? Do you recognize this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this from my movie buddy for Christmas.
Nice.
From China, but if you're, here's what it does. Put a quarter in. And then it burps. I forget this guy's name. Do you remember it?
Just No Face, I think.
No Face. Okay. Yeah, that was a great gift. It didn't last long in my kitchen. It got banished down to the inner sanctum.
Oh.
I know. It was a great gift for upstairs. No Face. Everybody says No Face. Okay, good. That's No Face.
To be fair, I have nothing outside of my library, my Sanctum Sanctorum. Like the only thing outside of here would be like movies and video games out in the living room, because my wife doesn't want to have any like collectibles or prints or anything out in public for the world to see.
Yeah, my wife was that way in the beginning too, and slowly I've been encroaching. I've got some stuff in the family room. I've even got some bombshells in the family room. Up in the upstairs library, I've started my own little library section with a couple of statues. So I'm not going to push it, but I'm pretty lucky that I'm able to encroach. But I understand what Megan's saying. Yeah, Patty doesn't want anything anywhere else.
Well, because she's like, it doesn't go with our decor. And I'm like, I guess.
Well, it would if you let me put more of it in.
Then it would be the decor, duh.
Exactly.
So I haven't done the show in a couple weeks for various things, and I was excited to be able to, because I'm off right now today, and I was excited to be able to do something. My parents are actually coming in town right now with my sister and her new husband. I say new as if she's had one before, but I just mean they just got married like a month ago. And we're doing a very late Christmas exchange, so I'm excited because we got my family some really cool gifts, mostly stuff that Megan designed and made herself. She likes to, basically what she'll do is she'll go on to Etsy that people are selling and then be like, I can make that myself, and then she just makes it herself and prints it out at like her work and then gives it to people. So she's
That's
crafty like
cool.
that. Yeah, she made this thing. It's she made two things for my sister and her husband. Um, one of them is like a picture of them on their wedding day, and it's surrounded by the words to the Elvis's "Can't Stop Falling in Love with You," because that was the song that they walked down the aisle to. And then the second one she made was like it was three hearts, and in each heart it had like the Google Maps for the location where something happened. So it was like where they met, where he proposed, and where they got married.
Oh, that's cool.
It has the dates on it. So she made those for them, and they're really nice. And then my mom, we just got her a framed picture of us and my sister and her husband from a couple years ago on Christmas when we were in New York. And then because she just loves having tons of pictures of her family. And then for my dad, we already got him one gift, which was there's this like infamous picture of him from my wedding where he got pretty fucking sloshed and was wearing these like devil horns from the photo booth, and someone just candidly snapped a picture, and he was like flipping off the camera, completely like face is just red because he's drunk, and it's like the most hilarious photo, and it's just gone down in infamy. Um, and so we got that picture as well as two other pictures of like him flipping the camera off, printed onto a mug, and we gave that to him on Christmas Day. And we FaceTimed my family, so we got to see him open it, and he started laughing about it so hard. So we were really happy with that turnout. And then we also got him because I mean, we're from Houston, and obviously the Astros won the World Series, so
That's right.
we got him a little ornament for the Christmas tree next year. That is like the World Series ornament. It's like a mitt and then two bats crossed, and it says Astros World Series Champions 2017 on it. So we figure we give him that because my mom's the Christmas person, and she has tons of ornaments and stuff and all her special things. And we were like, well, let's give my dad his own ornament so he can be like, he puts that one on the tree. I actually got the idea from Mike, one of the admins in the group, because we went to go visit him just before Christmas, and Mike was
Admins in what
telling
group?
admin Michelangelo is his name.
Oh. Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. He
Come on,
rarely, he rarely participates.
Well, Mike, we visit him every time we can. We go up north, and he lives in Connecticut, so we got to see him for an evening. And he was just saying basically the same deal. Like his mom decorates for Christmas, and then his dad has one ornament that is his, and it's like I think his is the Mets World Series ornament. So that's that. We're expecting them to come in, and we'll exchange those gifts. I'll get some new clothes because I get clothes basically twice a year for Christmas and my birthday, and just hang out for the weekend, I guess.
Nice. Well, what a relief to have Chewy back and safe, and everything's okay.
Yeah. And my sister was originally going to bring her two dogs, and now she said she found someone to watch them. So I think that's probably best, because our house is not big enough for four dogs. I don't think. I mean, you've been here. I think you can say it's not the biggest house for like six people and four dogs.
That's a lot of dogs.
Yeah. But I guess I was gonna. We were talking about showing my final haul for 2017.
Yeah, that sounds good. We haven't seen you for a while. We haven't heard from you for a while. So let's hear what you've been hauling recently.
I haven't done a haul in a long time because I was like MIA, and then we started doing the Monday hauls, and I haven't been on a Monday video. But the most recent one, I just got the package yesterday, and it's like I got the package and I was like, shit, if like I had known that I was gonna need the money for Chewy, I wouldn't have even bought all this stuff. But
Yeah, right.
I here's my regretful haul. So I got I'm actually reading this one right now. I'm going to start small and go big, as I like to do. This is the first volume of a manga that's now newly being released in the U.S. called The Promised Neverland. I've read the first couple of chapters so far, and it's pretty interesting. The idea basically is there's these kids. The main three are these three, the older ones. They're all like 11 years old. Emma, Norman, and Ray are their names. They have actually Western names. It's not a very Eastern type series. There's not a lot of like Eastern influence in it, which is weird. They're orphans and in this orphanage, and they really don't know anything about anything. They're just like happily living their lives. They get fed very generously. They get nice, clean clothes. They play with other kids, and everything's pretty much normal. And then every time one of the kids gets adopted, they're all happy and they're like, "Yay, so and so's getting a foster family or getting adopted." And then they never hear from them again. They're like, "Oh, they're probably just so happy that they never bother to write or whatever."
But the truth is, they become sausage material.
You're not that far off, honestly. But they find out there's one of their friends gets adopted, and they're taking them out, and there's like this big gate around the area of the orphanage. And so they go out to the gate. They're like, "Oh, they're still there. They haven't left yet. Let's say goodbye." And like, she left her doll, and we need to give her doll. And so they go to give her the doll, and they find out, the dark secret of the orphanage and what's actually going on. And I don't want to absolutely spoil it, but like I said, Jess, you weren't that far off. They find out what's actually happening to these kids. And then the second chapter, which I read not too long before I started the video, they're trying to figure out like how to save everyone and get out of the orphanage. So pretty decent start so far. Had a pretty nice twist. I enjoyed. Artwork is pretty good throughout. I mean, it looks like the art on the cover does. It's pretty nice detail, especially for a manga artist. And I haven't finished the first volume yet, obviously, so I haven't gotten I don't have a real opinion on whether I'm going to continue reading it. I usually give manga series about 3 volumes before I consider one way or the other. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I think it's worth the like $6. Next, speaking of, I usually take 3 volumes to decide whether I like a series or not. I got 3 volumes of this series, Haikyuu. I've been wanting to try it out for a while, mostly on the recommendation of one Mr. Kong Fuzi. This is a volleyball series. I've only read 2 other sports manga in my entire life, and that was football, Ice Shield 21, and basketball with Slam Dunk. I loved both of them, so I know not to judge just by the genre, not to discriminate against it because it's a sports series. He says it's really, really good. It's one of his series that he talks about a lot and is always praising. So I decided I'd go ahead and grab the first 3 volumes, and I look forward to probably reading these pretty soon. Sports manga usually don't take long to read, especially if you wind up getting engrossed in the action of the actual game. Like I did with Slam Dunk, I wound up going through like 5 volumes in an hour sometimes. So I'll get to that one probably pretty soon. And then another one, I bought the first 3 volumes of Black Clover. This one my brother-in-law recommended to me actually a while ago, and I kept telling him like, I'll get it. And so finally I decided I'd go ahead and get the first 3 volumes, try it out. I've heard that it takes, second or third volume before it really picks up anyway. So I'm looking forward to it. It has pretty neat looking artwork from the covers and stuff. And I've been told it's, if you like shonen series like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, that I'll probably enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that. Next, going into some Western stuff, I got some chunky trade paperbacks. Spider-Man Brand New Day Complete Collection Volume 4. Collecting issues 592 through 601 of Amazing Spider-Man, as well as other material. Annual 36, Spider-Man Short Halloween, Dark Reign, Mr. Negative 1 through 3, Spider-Man American Son sketchbook and material from Amazing Spider-Man Family #7. So this is kind of leading into the final stretch before it went into the whole Gauntlet storyline for Amazing Spider-Man. It includes the American Son storyline, which was like the Dark Reign Spider-Man story, written by Joe Kelly, which featured American Son was referencing Harry Osborn, who was the son of Norman, who's the Iron Patriot at that time. So there was a whole thing with that, and with the Dark Avengers, you can see on the back like Daken and Iron Patriot and Moonstone as Miss Marvel and stuff like that. It was a really, really good storyline. I remember reading that as it came out in singles and really loving it. So I'm excited about being able to revisit it. And one of the things that I really love about these complete collection volumes is that they really are a complete collection of that era of books, because not only do they have the issues for Amazing Spider-Man, but like I was mentioning, it also has miniseries and stuff that happen around the same time. So for someone like myself who was just reading the main series, it gives a good opportunity to read a bunch of the tie-ins that happened around the main series, like that Mr. Negative miniseries. A lot of times those miniseries and other tie-in issues were written by some of the writers that were working on Amazing Spider-Man at the time. So I'm expecting to get some enjoyment out of it. But I don't think there's been a 5th complete collection announced yet, but that one would take it probably up to the point where the Gauntlet begins. And the Gauntlet of course, was a storyline where like basically every old villain of Spider-Man came back and fought him like one after another, literally putting him through the gauntlet. Another chunky paperback, Wolverine by Dan Way, Volume 3.
By who?
I know. I've given him so much shit, but like I'm such a completist, and I did actually enjoy this Wolverine series, his Wolverine origin, until basically the last like dozen issues, where I just thought it was wrapping up kind of weakly, or in a weak way. But this one collects issues 16 through 32 of Wolverine Origins, as well as X-Men Original Sin, X-Men Legacy 217 and 218, and material from Wolverine 73 and 74. So this is going to be the penultimate volume of these complete collections. This volume in particular, which features lovely cover art by Greg Land, it features the story arc where it's like a flashback arc that has Wolverine teaming up alongside Bucky and Captain America, with artwork by Steve Dillon. And afterwards, there's another arc. The next arc is actually the first time that, as far as I can recall, Dan Way actually wrote Deadpool. When his Deadpool actually, in my memory, was pretty good, and then about halfway through his ongoing series is where it just kind of completely fell apart. But pretty fun stuff, nice gags, good action, and then after that there's an arc with Daken and Cyber, some other things, the Original Sin crossover that kind of dealt with Daken. There's a lot of stuff about Daken in here, basically, which would explain why he's front and center on the cover. Anyway, next is one I built.
Really chunky trades.
Oh yeah, I like them thick. This one I don't. It's not. That one was, I would call, a guilty pleasure comic of mine. This one I don't feel guilty about at all. Black Panther, the Man Without Fear complete collection. Another pretty chunky trade. This was when David Liss took over on Daredevil with Francesco Francavilla as artist. This was during the aftermath of what was it called, Shadowland, where Daredevil was no longer protecting Hell's Kitchen, and so there was this big kind of they did this little campaign where they were asking who's going to be the next Man Without Fear, and they released all these covers of, like, you know, Nova and Kraven, and then Falcon and Gambit, all of the artwork done by Francavilla, where they're asking, you know, who's going to take over, who's going to watch. Hell's Kitchen, and it wound up being Black Panther. And it was a really interesting run because it was very different for Black Panther, who, you know, in the previous series mostly took place in Wakanda, kind of like the current series. And now you're throwing him into this city setting where he's, you know, I guess it's kind of reminiscent of Chris Priest's run, which had a lot of stuff like Black Panther going into America and stuff like that.
Who wrote this again?
Do what now?
Who wrote this again?
David Liss. He was I think a crime novelist. I know he was a novelist. He doesn't do much as far as comics go. But I only read the first arc of this, but it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And I never got to finish the rest of the series, but it has some fantastic artwork. So I'm really looking forward to finally being able to go through. I always meant to buy the latter volumes because it was like 3 books, but I think the third one or maybe the second one went out of print on me before I got to buy it, and I was like, well, great, awesome, cool. I'm never gonna get that now. And then they announced the complete collection, and I was like, fantastic. Look, there's even a tie-in issue for Spider Island where Black Panther has 6 arms.
Oh, I like the looks of that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to be able to dig into that again. And I'm also excited because it's like Marvel's doing a really, really good job of releasing everything Black Panther in those chunky trades. There's only basically the Kirby series and then the like Volume 2, which was a mini series, and like a couple of different little minis here and there that haven't been collected in those chunky trades, but I'm pretty sure those will follow pretty soon because we've got everything else is out or is coming out soon. But speaking of another chunky Black Panther trade, I also got Panther's Quest, which was written by Don McGregor with illustration by Gene Colan. And this is material from Marvel Comics Presents 13 through 37, so a 25-part storyline that McGregor and Colan told dealing with the Black Panther.
Can we see some of the art from that?
Let me see if I can get a really good image in there. This is a story I actually had no idea even existed. And then I saw it solicited and I didn't think twice about it. And as it was coming closer and I kept seeing it listed on like previews and stuff like that, I was becoming more and more interested in it. And I decided, you know, screw it, I might as well go ahead and buy it. There's a pretty decent looking page. I was trying to find some good splash pages, so they're the appear best on camera. But yeah, I had no idea what it was. I had barely knew it was coming, and then I just thought, you know, screw it, I'll go ahead and order it. Because January was going to be a pretty light month for me, and then I had to leave some grapes out. So this is
the grapes of regret.
Definitely some grapes of wrath right there. My own wrath. This one's pretty good.
Are these new releases, these Black Panther books, or are they just something that have been on your wish list?
No, those are actually, they both came out last month.
Okay.
So I think in the last week of last month or something like that. And then here's one that a lot of people got. Actually, the last 3 here, a lot of people got. BPRD Hell on Earth, hardcover volume 1. Been waiting on this for years now to come out. I never got the paperbacks. I decided I wasn't going to read Hell on Earth until the hardcovers came out. And boy, did I have a good time waiting on that. Not much I can say. I haven't read that before, and I don't have much to say about it except for how much I've been excited for it. And I'm sure a lot of other people have talked about it. And then I haven't even unwrapped this one yet, but Thor by Aaron and Dodderman Volume 2. Oversized hardcover. This has issues 1 through 12 of this series. This is the post-Secret Wars, basically picking up from the pre-Secret Wars series, where at the end we got the revelation of who the female Thor is, and now we're moving forward from there. And this run is still going on very strong. So
nice.
I'm excited to see where it's going, and eventually I'm pretty sure we'll see an omnibus edition of it, but just in case, I'm like, I want to get the hardcovers because I don't want to be caught with my pants down, you know?
No
And
one
then
does.
another one I have not opened is the Big Ol' Black Science hardcover volume 2. I haven't opened it up. I haven't put any of this stuff on my shelf yet, but collecting the next chunk of Black Science by Rick Remender and Matteo Scalera. And that's all I've got for my final haul of 2017. And I also already made my first order for 2018. The whole Chewy debacle went down. So I have a lot of, I'm eating a lot of crow at the beginning of this year.
Mm.
Um,
It was just a mistake. It was an accident. Accidents happen, and you're making up for it. Don't beat yourself up too much. Your doggy's okay.
I just feel bad because, like, I got the package in yesterday, and I knew that Megan was going to say something like, how are you going to order comics when, like, you have to pay for Chewy's medical stuff? And I'm like, I didn't know. But anyway, that's it. And then as far as other stuff that I read, I've been just keeping up with regular releases. You know, I talked a lot about the new issue of Thanos by Donny Cates. I think that you actually read that, didn't you?
I did. I read 1 through 12 from Lemire, and then I read issue 13 by Cates. Is issue 14 out yet?
It did come out.
Ah, okay.
It came out last Wednesday, and it was like a very it was really, really good, but it was weird because, like, it's almost, his story structure is a little different. Like, he starts with, like, the action sequence in that issue 13 and just, like, Thanos kicking ass, and then issue 14 kind of takes a step back. You know, after the cliffhanger of issue 13, it takes a step back and gives, like, an entire just history of Thanos as a character.
Oh.
From, like, birth until now, and then it goes forward because of what we saw in the in issue 13, in the cliffhanger of that issue. It goes forward in his life and shows what comes, like, is coming for him, and then it has, you know, him meeting so and so that he first met in the end of issue 13, and then it just goes from there. So it was really interesting. It has, like, a kind of a really good history of Thanos. Kind of reminded me of in the Vision, where there was that entire issue that was dedicated to just the history of Vision, and showing, like, every time that he saved the world of the Avengers. It's kind of like that, but
Oh yeah, I remember that.
a little more. It was a little more rushed, but it was the same kind of concept, giving this perspective on everything that character has done. It's definitely, this is shaping up to be a really, really special run. I'm just going to say that flat out.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the issues that I read, and I enjoyed the issue that I read by Donny Cates. So I'll have to get number 14 on Comixology when I go upstairs after this.
I don't think you will be disappointed. I will say that. I'm trying to think of other big things that Metal has been continuing really well for DC.
I'm dying to get that collected.
Oh man, yeah, I know that Scott Snyder had said on his Twitter that they were talking about doing an omnibus already. So that's true. If that's not just him, you know, blowing smoke out of his ass, then that's awesome, because Metal has been, it's like fucking ridiculous comic book fun is all it is. It's like a lot of it seems like gibberish, but it's very much like Snyder pulling a Morrison and just pulling from all of comic book history to give this just crazy story. And it's a lot of fun. All the tie-ins have been good. All the times have been a lot of fun. He's got some really good ideas here. He's not pulling his usual Snyder, like he has tropes of his own that he uses in most of his stories, and this one has, like, none of those tropes. It's like he's just completely letting go of the reins and being free and just being crazy. which is awesome because you don't really get that much from him. He usually it's very like it's become kind of by the books. Like, and I still enjoy Snyder's stuff, but it's like you almost know what you can predict what to expect from what he's doing. But here he's just completely I don't know what's happening and I don't know what's going to happen. Essentially, which makes it really exciting and good. And the second issue of Doomsday Clock came out, and that was okay. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to reserve my judgment until the end of that. But as of now, I'm still in the camp of like, this definitely does not need to happen. And it's not proving to me otherwise. So that's kind of where I stand on that. I know there's been a lot of other cool new stuff that I've read. I know the Centipede series I mentioned months ago by Max Bemis, based on the Centipede game from Atari.
Oh yeah,
that wrapped up recently, really, really well. Very interesting ending, and it. I mean, if you read and enjoyed The Worst X-Man and Fool Killer by Max Bemis, then this is another one that you'd want to check out once it hits trade.
Okay, was Fool Killer, was that the old Fool Killer or newer Fool? Fool Killer.
Well, it was. I don't know. I don't think it was like by old. If you mean like the original character Fool Killer.
There was a Fool Killer back in the '90s or something. There was had a run, but is this a current run of Fool Killer?
Yeah.
Frick.
Yeah, because I know there was the '90s one, or by I think it was Steve Gerber that wrote the old one, and then there was another one in the 2000s. I think from maybe Greg Hurwitz. I'm not 100% sure though. And this one was just from a year ago or so. It was just a 5-issue miniseries. It was just a really good kind of introspective storyline. But if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. It's just a single trade paperback. It's pretty cheap. And then I also read, as far as collected books go, I read.
Have you been reading Grand Design at all?
Oh God, yeah, I did. That I haven't read the second issue that came out yet, but that first issue was just phenomenal. Like, did you read it, right?
I haven't read it yet. No.
The basic idea is they've taken the entire history of the X-Men and they're starting from like the birth of Charles Xavier and chronologically telling all the stories of the mutants and the X-Men. And in that first issue, there's like everything that happens from the beginning from Charles Xavier's birth until the point where he forms the original X-Men team. So basically 1963 September, when issue number 1 of X-Men came out. And there's like sequences in there that stood out to me a lot because basically they're putting things that we find out at different points in the X-Men's history into chronological order, such as like you see the plane that Scott Summers is on crashing, and Scott and Alex get out and they're eventually rescued, but Christopher Summers, their dad, and then their mom are still in the plane. And in the comics, you don't know until way later, but the Shi'ar came and basically abducted them from that plane before it blew up. And so you see, Scott and Alex fall out, and then a little spaceship comes over and abducts the parents and then flies away. And there's like a panel of the Shi'ar talking to Christopher Summers or Corsair, and then his story is like going elsewhere, so it goes back to Scott. So that's like an example of how they do stuff. It's really interesting just seeing everything play out chronologically. And then I know that Gabe was really impressed by he has like a glossary, like an index in the back where it just lists panel per panel like where certain things happen. So if you want to go back and read the actual comics, it's like page 20, panel 3, this interaction happened in X Factor number 14 or something like that.
How many issues is this supposed to be?
So it's right now 2 issues, and then he has stated that it's planned for 6 total issues.
Hmm.
But I'm guessing because it's listed as like issues 1 and 2 out of 2, so I'm guessing it's going to be like 3 2-issue miniseries.
Okay, cool.
I haven't read the second one yet. I've got it waiting for me to read, and I will read it soon because I want to see where that one leaves off. But it's supposed to be like telling basically the first 300 issues of X-Men stories in 300 pages is the idea.
Okay. Well, I'd like to say that Gio has joined the group, as also has Omar. We had Gabe for a while. I don't know if Gabe's still there, but we got all the Omnibros in the house. Nice. It's a pretty big deal for Gio. Gio must be at work using their Wi-Fi system, because I don't think he has any Wi-Fi of his own. It's still tragedy in Puerto Rico, even though none of us hear about it.
I know, it's kind of crap.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so Grand Design is good. Anything else I should be reading? It sounds like I should go up and start reading Grand Design as soon as I leave the show.
That one's definitely super good. Let me see what I've got lined up right now. Max Bemis, again, mentioning his name, is writing Moon Knight right now. The first 2 issues have been pretty good. There's a new Punisher by Garth Ennis, The Platoon, that's been, if you enjoyed like his Max, like Punisher Born or Fury Max, then that one's really good. Phoenix Resurrection just started up.
Oh, somebody had a question earlier about Phoenix Resurrection, the movie. See if
The upcoming Dark Phoenix movie.
Yeah, let's see if I can find that.
I know the Snagglepuss Exit Stage Left comic that started up from the guy
I
that
can't.
What's his name? Who did Flintstones?
Mark Russell.
Yeah, Mark Russell. I haven't read that yet. Batman White Knight by
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that to get collected.
Sean Murphy. That one's really good. Really interesting idea. Chris Priest just started writing Justice League last month, and that started out pretty good.
Good.
Tom King's Batman is continuing to impress me. I don't know if you got there. There was like an annual that came out towards the end of last year that like I know myself and a lot of people like literally made us cry.
It's in my pull box at Third Eye Comics. I just haven't been down there.
Whenever you get the
Maybe
chance,
next week.
And it's
Okay.
great because it works really well as just a one shot as well.
Okay,
so you don't
good.
have to worry about buying a bunch of other things.
Here's a question, Riley. What are your thoughts on Fox's second attempt at doing the Dark Phoenix saga storyline?
I think that if they don't learn from their mistakes, then there's no point in doing it again. So I'd like to think that they are learning from their mistakes. If I'm not mistaken, the new movie I don't think is directed by Singer. It's is it Kreisberg that's doing it? I'm gonna look that up.
You've read God Country, right? That's what made you read the Thanos book by Donny Cates.
Yeah, God Country was the first place where I saw Donny Cates' name, and
Yeah.
that's the one that got me like Simon Kinberg is who's doing it, and the new X-Men. But anyway, yeah, Donny Cates. I think I've read a couple of other things from him as well, but that was the one that really got my attention because it's Cates and Jeff Shaw, who did God Country, are both doing Thanos. So really good. If you haven't read that one, I highly recommend that. But yeah, Dark Phoenix.
I've read God Country. It's great.
That's a fantastic fantastic little mini series for anyone that hasn't done it. But yeah, Simon Kinberg is directing. He was screenwriter, writer on the X-Men books, the movies. But he is directing, writing, and producing the new one. It's his directorial debut. So we'll see how that goes. The first images look pretty decent. I know that they're doing more like cosmic stuff, like they're going into space with the X-Men this time, and I think that that's a really good move.
I think so too.
It hasn't been explored in the films, and it allows for more. I don't want to say accurate, but a tad more accurate to the comics. Accuracy is never really like something that I'm that hung up on in the comics, as long as they tell a good story. But I think I'm more excited about the going to space thing just because they haven't done it before. It makes it gives us something more original, instead of the same thing over and over and over, which is almost how it's beginning to feel. And I didn't care too much for the last X-Men movie, the Apocalypse movie. I thought it was decent at best, but it was lacking a lot for what I was expecting. Like for them to do such a huge villainous Apocalypse. So I'm going into this one hopeful, but with lowered expectations. And we'll see what happens.
Taylor Brown jamming me up, and rightly so, asking me when my new Instagram account is going live. I keep forgetting about it. My daughter said she wants to set it up for me, and all it is taking pictures and posting them online. It's not hard at all. My daughter just insists she wants to do it, and she's coming over tomorrow to watch a football game with me, so maybe we'll do it tomorrow. If she doesn't do it with me tomorrow, I'm just doing it myself on Sunday. I want an Instagram account just to start slapping pics up.
Man, Gabe does a really good Instagram. Like his is basically, if I wasn't a lazy piece of shit, what I would do on mine. Just every time I get a new big release, just be like, check it out, guys. This is everything about this book. And I would do that, and it'd be so much easier than me like feeling pressured to make video hauls myself. For me to just go in and snap a picture, snap a picture, snap a picture. But I'm so fucking lazy. And basically when I get my packages, I open them up and I just move my books around and put them on the shelf. Or I open my package up and I just leave them in a stack on the floor until I stop feeling that lazy. But yeah, I think that like with the turn of the year, you know, the whole new year, new me, one of my like, I have a lot of like New Year's resolutions, which usually I think are bullshit, because it's like, why are you just putting it off until the next year to start doing things? But for some reason this year I've been like, I feel like I'm going to get a fresh start. I feel like this is going to be great. And I just have all kinds of plans with like progressing myself as, you know, in my work and in my hobby, both on like the work side and the enjoyable side of my hobby. Like I want to stop missing so many. I know sometimes I can't help it. Like, you know, oh, my dog's in the hospital, I can't really make a video, but like I want to start making my own videos again and making my own posts and stuff. So I need to start basically holding myself accountable is the biggest thing I want to do in the new year, is just start holding myself accountable for the things that I want to do and that I say that I'm going to do, instead of just being like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like your vids.
I know. I feel really bad because people will like, I'll be commenting on posts in the group and someone will say like, what happened to your channel? I miss your videos. And I'll just not respond, or I'll say, I don't know. And like, I have no good reason. I'm just fucking lazy. And I don't know. I get tired and I go home and I just want to sleep. And I had like the entire last week, I was running my store by myself. And I swear, like, my manager was coming back. He came back yesterday, And Tuesday, every fucking person in there wanted to fight me. Like, on something, they just wanted to fight me. And I was like, I am
Your
like,
customers?
yeah. I was so fed up with it. And it was so, because it's like, I had one guy was like talking shit to my other customer and my other employee. And I just got up and I was like, hey, if there's something like, I will be the one to tell him what he's doing wrong. Like, you don't need to tell him what he's doing wrong. You know, I appreciate whatever. I was like, let me handle it. Like, seriously. But he was just degrading my employee for no reason, just because he didn't ask him if he wanted to do something. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, I needed to ask. I'll make sure to do that in the future. And the guy just kept degrading him. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. So I talked to that guy, and I had another guy that was complaining about another thing. And then this lady was complaining about another thing, and she was being extremely disrespectful to the point that on the phone, I was like, we're not going to help you here. I'll give you the number to another place, but I'm not helping you. So every single person wanted to pick a fight with me. And I just, by the end of the day, was like, I need to get some liquor in me and like just die for the next 3 days.
Well, this is a safe space for you, Riley. We're not going to jam you up here.
Hopefully.
Except to do more videos.
Yeah, I know. Now, at this point, I kind of feel guilty like doing videos without everyone else, though. Like we've been doing this for so long that I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to do it by myself.
Yeah, well, these are fun just to do spontaneous sort of interview chats, just right on a Friday afternoon. These are fun to do.
You and Luis did a couple of videos recently too.
Yeah, I think he wants to make it a regular thing on Wednesday nights.
Oh man, Jess is going to be super busy.
Well, if I do Monday and Wednesdays, I'll probably have to take Thursdays off if I'm doing Mondays and Wednesdays. I heard a little something in my wife's voice last night about you're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and the way she said it, I was like, oh, this is the first blowback I've gotten yet. So I may have to find out how serious she doesn't want me to do 3 or 4 times a week.
Well, that's my wife's blowback was why I had to suggest doing like a separate show for hauls and what we've read, because every time I would do the Thursday show, we'd be in there for like over 2 hours, and she'd poke her head in every once in a while and be like, "You're still not done?"
Yeah.
And I'm, come on, like it's one night a week that I'm doing this, but she's like, I mean, she has a point because we don't get that much time together, because I work like from 7 to 6 every day, and I don't see her during that time. And then I sometimes have to work on weekends too. So she's like, come on, like we need our few hours of the day together. So that's why I try to suggest that, so we could condense it to like an hour, hour and a half instead of 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But
it's a good idea.
But I was thinking about different stuff too. Like, if I maybe start doing more spontaneously, just like, hey, let's do something here. Let's do something here. Just so I can keep doing more without like making my wife say, hey, stop being gone so much.
Well, the flip side of that is it's good that they want to spend time with us still.
Yeah. Yeah, I often wonder why.
It'd be different if it was like, yeah, you go do your little video show 7 days a week for 3 hours each night. I'm fine with that.
Is she so because she'll do her own thing, like she'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go walk the dogs, or I'm gonna go exercise, or I'm gonna go fucking watch my own YouTube videos and stuff like that. She watches all the makeup videos, and then she'll finish doing whatever she's doing, and I'm still doing this, and she's like, you're still not done?
Yeah. It's been cool about it, so I'm sure I'll be able to work it out if Luis wants to do it Wednesday nights too. I was just exhausted yesterday. I just couldn't stay awake because I had been sick all day Tuesday. And then I found out today that I fractured my kneecap.
Yeah.
So I'm in a big old brace for that.
Well, That's not fun, but at least you'll get some time out to read comics.
Right. He ordered me to rest, play video games, read, get off my feet. That's how you cure a broken kneecap, which is cool with me. And he shoved pain pills at me too. So I'm like, dude, you're my best friend right now.
Tell me to do nothing and take pain pills too. Yeah. The
I don't
doctor
actually know how I. What's that?
is a doctor mandated order not to do anything. So your wife can be like, "Hey, you need to clean the kitchen." No, doctor said I can't.
Sorry, I can't. He ordered me to take pain pills till I see flying dolphins and sit here and do video games. Taylor Brown, sorry to hear about that, Jess. I'm surprised that didn't happen on camera like your other mishaps. It might have. I don't know how it happened. I didn't fall. I didn't trip. I didn't twist it. It just fractured on its own. So I don't know how it happened. That would have been great if I could have done it on camera.
Yeah, like when you broke your tooth on a slice of pizza.
Right. Or when fucking Nemo tipped over my Coke onto my laptop and broke my laptop. Yeah, I've had some adventures on this thing. Jess, is there a chance you can do some gaming videos? I would love a Half-Life 2 playthrough with your commentary. I loved Half-Life 2. That was a great game. Um, one thing is I've been playing video games forever. I'm just really not that good. The difficulty level I usually set is, don't hurt me, mommy, or something. And so I'm really not that great. I'm playing a good video game now that's amazingly a mind fuck. It's called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Have you heard of that game?
I haven't heard of that.
You're supposed to wear it with headphones on, and she's got voices in her head, and the voices in her head go all around your headphones and are constantly messing with you. And sometimes you don't know if you're supposed to listen to the voices or not because they're always messing with you. And she's entering the gates of hell, looking for Hela in Helheim, and so she's fighting all kinds of crazy monsters and solving puzzles, and it's actually fun. But it wouldn't be a good thing for me to do on Twitch because me and puzzles is like do 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 for 15 minutes trying to figure it out.
That's one of the, like, I never would want to do me live streaming me playing video games because, like, for instance, we've been playing Mario, my wife and I, Mario Odyssey on the Switch, and a lot of it has just been us like dying 50 million times before actually completing the task. And we just recently, like, we got the final moon in the game, or Megan did, and she finally did it after dying like however many hundreds of times. And then the rest of the game is just like stupid shit, like jump rope 100 times and hit the volleyball 100 times. And it's so stupid and hard, and I hate it because it's not like, it's not like a regular Mario platformer puzzle type thing where you're like jumping through hoops and killing enemies and doing something fun. It's just like a fucking jump rope.
Now, are you guys sharing the controller and playing one game, or did you start two separate games?
We're both playing the same file. Like, we just pass it back and forth whenever.
Yeah, my
I'll
daughter
get
and I do
tired
that too.
and give it to her. She'll get tired and give it to me. But it's, I mean, we've pretty much, we're very close to 100% of the game being done. I'm hoping, because I asked for a couple of Switch games for Christmas, if I recall correctly, and I'm hoping that my mom and dad might have gotten me one just for the sake of, I really like playing video games with my wife because it's a fun time and she's amusing when she gets upset at the video game.
What games did you ask for Christmas?
If I recall correctly, I think I asked for the Splatoon 2 on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
It might have been another one, but I don't recall. I'm pretty sure I did ask about that one. But we also were playing a lot of after my birthday because my friend gave me the Raspberry Pi, and we're playing a lot of old games on that, and we were having a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, that's the emulator, or is that
Yes,
the handheld emulator thing?
that's the emulator that you plug into your TV,
Oh, okay.
and you can get it to have like my friend preloaded all the stuff on there, so it has all the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, Sega, all that stuff is already on the system. So it's like thousands of games preloaded on there. It's really cool. And speaking of all the video games, I have a lot of video game stuff that I'm trying to sell to make funds for my Chewy bill. So if anyone wants a Super Nintendo, and I've got like Zelda and Donkey Kong Country and Mario All Stars with Mario World, Star Fox, F-Zero, like a bunch of the bigger games. Uh, I've got all those for sale. Just trying to make some money for this little wiener.
What? Where have you put them up in the OmniFolks gaming corner? Or are you going to?
Yes, I have put them there. Just basically asking for offers because I don't really know much about video games to ask certain prices. And then I was going to find another group or something to post them, like a bigger gaming group. Because I know ours is very, like, it's just 200 something people. It's
Yeah,
limited.
I'm sure you
Limited to
can read.
the Omnibus Collector group people.
Yeah, you need to reach out to 3,000 or 4,000 people groups.
I just wanted to give our people the chance first
Yeah,
to, because I'd rather sell to people that I know or whatever before going to the public, and then anything left over I'll just take to like half price books because I don't want to go to GameStop because not that they're going to give me less, but they're always like, oh, you want cash, you don't want to take credit because cash is going to be like a third.
right.
Like, I know, I used to work for you, I know.
Um, have you played Arms on the Switch? Is that the one with the real springy arms?
Yeah, I played I guess the demo of it in New York because I went to the Nintendo World store, and I played for about 3 minutes, and it was a pretty fun 3 minutes, but I didn't really understand what I was supposed to be doing outside of just like this. Um, it was very colorful though, but it was like the only thing I felt like I was able to do is like I could shoot both of my arms out, or I could pull back and like he would block, and those were the only moves that he was able to do. So I don't know if like that game was it reviewed well? I don't even know.
I don't know. Rob McClay was saying Arms on the Switch is awesome on the chat.
Let's see if it. Yeah, it's got pretty decent reviews and stuff. I don't think I requested that game for Christmas, but
I think it was considered one of the top 5 games on the Switch for 2017. But there weren't that many games for the Switch. But actually, it turns out I think there are a lot of games for the Switch. Once I looked at all the top 20 lists, there were like at least 20 games that were really good for the Switch. So I think there are a lot of good games out there for it, besides the obvious Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
yeah, there's several that have come out. I just haven't had a chance to pick up more than those two. It's really
Well,
hard to like want to buy video games and comics.
yeah, I'm notorious for starting a game and then halfway through it stopping and going on to a different one. So I am determined for Hellblade to finish this thing, no matter what. I am just going to power through it.
I was going through my games yesterday to see like, I was pulling out ones that I wanted to try and sell. There was so many of them that I was like, I've played like half of this, or I've played a few hours of this, or like I never played this at all. I'm like, damn, I'm really shitty when it comes to video games.
I still have PlayStation 2 games I haven't played. My wife
Yeah, me
keeps
too.
saying, why is that PlayStation 2 sitting there? Well, I still have 2 games I have to finish playing.
Yeah, I have a bunch. I had probably a decent little stack of PS2 games I need to play. The last time I really was playing a lot of PlayStation 2, it was I think the PS4 was already out, but I was going back and playing some of the PS2 games I never played, and a lot of those PS2 games were super cheap at the time. So I picked up like all the old Grand Theft Autos and just played through all like 3 Vice City and San Andreas in a row. What's up,
There's
Chewy?
Chewy.
His breath is still bad.
He's got hospital breath.
So his fur smells like the hospital, but his breath still just smells like butt. Why don't you look over at the camera?
Very cute.
And the other dog is sleeping right now because she poops every time I have her in here.
Yeah, don't let her on camera.
I'm pretty sure that she just thinks that the carpet is grass.
Indoor grass.
She'll walk around and then just take a giant dump. What are you trying to do? So what are you reading something right now, or what do you plan on reading next?
I'm going through an image phase right now. I looked at my bookshelves and realized there were a huge amount of oversized hardcovers from Image that I had collected and not read. So I'm in the middle of an Image read through. I read, to start the year off, I read Saga 1 and 2. I read Aphrodite 9. And right now I'm reading Wayward, which I'm really enjoying.
Had you not read Saga before?
I read the first 20 issues in floppies, and I've just been waiting for them to come out in hardcover.
I had heard about Wayward, but never actually read it myself.
I think you'd like it a lot. It's got manga style art. It's about an Irish, half Japanese chick that goes to live with her mom in Japan, and a bunch of her, boy, this better be important. It's my wife, so it can't be. I told her I was on the air, so if she calls again, I'm going to have to take it. She moves to Japan, and all these different interesting powers of hers start to manifest, and she finds other teenagers like her. And I'm right at the part now where it turns out her mom is involved in something nefarious, and I can't say more than that because I actually don't know, but it's a fast, interesting read, and I'm really enjoying it. I think you'd like it.
Who's it written by? Is it
Jim Zub?
That's what I thought. I thought it was Jim Zub.
He brings in a lot of Japanese mythology and stuff too. It's really cool.
Interesting. Of course, pretty soon from Image, Invincible's going to be ending.
Right.
It's got the last issue, I think, is coming out this month.
Mm.
So that's a pretty big deal. I know that you're not a Robert Kirkman fan, but I think if I recall, Invincible is like the exception to the rule.
Correct. You are correct, sir.
So that one is coming to a close pretty soon.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I haven't read the Aphrodite 9 either. I guess the only thing I was familiar with what you said was Saga.
You don't need to read Aphrodite 9. You don't need to bother. The first story is interesting, and then the second half is just a whole bunch of like 1990s thong wearing art that is very pretty, but the story makes zero sense. And if somebody in the group wants it, I will probably sell it to them at cover price because it's out of print and it's a little bit hard to find. It was an interesting concept. The very first half of it was a really good concept, and then I don't know what happened in the second part. It was just I don't know. It was just a bunch of guck.
Did you I know one of the some of the more recent ones that came out, Descender Volume 1 came out, and the I Hate Fairyland hardcover came out. Did you get to read those?
I got the I Hate Fairyland hardcover. It is right here.
Oh, you got the black one.
I did, yeah, because I like that picture of her. So I will be reading that in my image readathon. And I did not upgrade Descender. I see the next paperback is coming out next week, so I'll get that. I read the first 5 or 4 or 5, however many there were. The next trade's coming out, so I'll just get that in trade.
I've been reading that one as it comes out. It ebbs and flows, I guess, in quality for me, and it's not. I enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it enough for me to say, okay, I'll spend the money on a giant hardcover when there was other things that I kind of wanted to get at the time. But I Hate Fairyland, I will say I really, really enjoy. That series is a ton of fun. All right, Chewy. Okay, cool. So when you get to that one, I think you'll enjoy it. It's really good comedy. It's just, you know, Scotty Young doing a violent and vulgar fairy tale, essentially.
Yeah, I read the first 3 trades, and I'm really happy to get this in a super nice hardcover.
Oh, then I don't even need to tell you anything about it. You've already read all the stuff that's in there.
Yeah, I pretty much have. Have you read Black Hammer?
Yeah, I've been reading that one since day one. That is a fantastic series.
Yeah, I really love it. I love it and Descender.
I'm hoping for some library editions for Black Hammer.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Since, I mean, it is a Dark Horse series, and it's been a little bit since we've had a new series of libraries from them. Now that they've concluded Hellboy, and I'm guessing you can call Hellboy concluded since they did Hellboy in Hell, and The Goon, and then they've been doing like what, Tomb Raider, but I haven't been picking those up. I'm not really interested.
Me either.
But it'd be cool if they decided to do the Black Hammer series, because the artwork there is fantastic, better. And then it has the this little spin-off series that just came out, Sherlock Frankenstein, and then the something or other.
Oh, right.
It's been a lot of fun as well, kind of just delving into a little bit more about those characters. To see something like that in a library edition.
Yeah, I'd love that. I would upgrade that.
I'm trying to look at my other image titles that I'm needing to catch up on.
I'm going to do Revival also. Revival, I need to read Cowboy Ninja Viking. See, I already read Velvet. I'm going to read Satellite Sam. John P. and I are going to do a Satellite Sam readathon together. I have read Paper Girls, but I haven't read it in oversized hardcover, so I need to read that. So I've got my work cut out for me. I think this month will be dedicated to Image.
I think of the Image stuff that I own, like the stuff that's on the shelf, I'm pretty sure I've read everything before.
Will you?
Yeah.
There's a question here, Riley and Jess. Will you be buying the Hellboy omnibuses? Those are the paperback thingies.
Yeah, I don't believe I will. I think I'm just going to stick to the library editions. I know that there's a little bit of material in those omnibuses that are not in the library editions, but I'm not really bothered by the small material. And honestly, like, I know I just said that they concluded the Hellboy library editions, but they could release a 7th one just with all those extra, like the, what was it, the Midnight Circus and Hellboy Goes to Mexico and stuff like that. In another little library edition book. So I'd rather just stick to the one format that I've got here and not have an extra set of trades of mostly the same material just for, you know, just for the sake of a few small things.
Right, I agree.
I did read the one collected edition that I read recently that I can recall is the newest Junji Ito volume, Shiver.
Oh yeah, I have that. How is that?
Is there? So it's a series of, it's like 9 short stories, and they're all not connected in any way, shape, or form. So that, I wanted to preface with that by saying, you know, parts of it, some of those stories are definitely stronger than others. And overall, it was a really good series, but I wouldn't recommend someone who's never read Junji Ito to start with that book, I would say like if you've already read like Uzumaki or Gyo or something, and you like those, and you want to read more of his stuff, then that would be something you'd want to get. But uh, he has a really interesting way of telling these short stories, like those like 40-page one-off stories to where they're almost pretty much humorous, except with this one grotesque factor where you're like, if someone was just telling you the story like verbally, you'd probably think it was hilarious. But because of the fact that it comes with his grotesque artwork, they're kind of horrific in a way. But it's a very like Eastern type of horror. So like for instance, there's a story in there about a family that like they have a barbecue joint or something that they run, and the grease from the place seeps into their home, just sticks to all of their clothes and their body and their beds and stuff like that. And it's just like this disgusting imagery. But if I just told you like, there's grease everywhere and the boy likes to drink oil and whatever, like it's this like wacky, grotesque image that you make in your brain, but giving it Junji Ito's artwork alongside it, it's just horrific. So that, I mean, I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And so for what I paid, I would say I was definitely satisfied with it. But again, I wouldn't recommend it as a first-time book for people who've never read his stuff before.
Yeah, well, I've read Uzumaki, and I couldn't even describe it. It was horrific, that's for sure. But I couldn't describe it to you other than saying it has to do with spirals, but that undersells it. It's all-consuming spirals that I don't even want to wreck it for people. It's definitely a horrifying book. I read it for my October horror read, and it was pretty spooky. It was
there's
really
some
creepy.
like imagery and just concepts in that story that I remember really fucking with me when I was reading it. I was like, oh shit, like that's really fucked up looking, really fucked up imagery, and just the feeling that it gave me was pretty it was successful as a horror book, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not often scared by comics or books, but like there are parts in there where it's like it's kind of chilling. It's not like, because in film and stuff you can often get like jump scares is what really gets me personally, like when I'm watching a movie. So if like a killer jumps out of the corner and like stabs someone, I'm like, oh shit. But with books, it's different. Like you can have like a jump scare if you like turn the page or something, but part of the jump scare is like the soundtrack mixing with the visuals. So you get the effects and the sound effects matching, and it's just this all around audio and visual experience that just startles you. And those are the things that really get me. And you don't really get that. You just have the visual with the book, and it relies a lot on your the way that you're taking it in. And so a lot of what he does is, instead of giving you those, he does those types of things where it's, you flip the page and there's this really horrific image. It's mostly just like this lingering feeling, I guess, for myself, like that there's these weird and grotesque things, and he's just constantly showing you like more grotesque things and more weird looking things and more disgusting ideas, and it just slowly creeps on you that like, this is horrifying. It's not like, I don't even want to say scary. It's just stuff that's grotesque and horrifying.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you that hasn't been asked, but it has been asked of all the other Omnibros. It hasn't been asked here, but can you think of one book that's coming out in 2018 that you're really looking forward to? Any kind of collected edition, omnibus, trade paperback?
So I have recently I got a list from some of the guys of like all the big upcoming books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe
And
you could throw a couple out that you're looking forward to.
so I have them like in alphabetical order on this note, the ones that I'm picking up, but these are just like omnibus editions and stuff like that. Uh, let's see.
Start out with the
So
one you're really looking forward to.
this one, there's one of these on here has been on my wish list since years ago, and it finally got solicited, and that was Wolverine Goes to Hell,
Mm.
which is the latter part of Jason Aaron's Wolverine run. Um, I know that there's people who don't really like that series, but for me, that was the best Wolverine solo story that ever happened.
Mm.
From Wolverine Goes to Hell through it was a three, like if you got in the old paperbacks or hardcover, it was Goes to Hell, Wolverine versus the X-Men, and then Wolverine's Revenge or Redemption, something like that, whatever the third volume is called. I don't remember exactly, but it's like this three-part storyline that just does so much for the psyche of the character and works with his history of like, you know, his relationships with younger members of the X-Men and his lack of a childhood and his going forward. It works with the future, like because after that, Jason Aaron wrote Wolverine going into Schism, and Schism, his attitude there was directly dependent on what he did in this story. So that made, I mean, this was Jason Aaron's Wolverine was really what solidified him first as one of my favorite writers, and then he went on to do more and more awesome stuff, and now it's like, yeah, Jason Aaron's awesome. So there's that one. I'm also extremely excited about the Grant Morrison Batman omnibus.
Uh-huh.
That one has been something that people have been looking forward to wishing for a very long time. So that's awesome because I think everything's still in print for his Batman, but it's such a amazing run that I feel like it deserves nothing more or nothing less than the best format, and that,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, would be omnibus. I prefer omnibus over absolute,
Right.
because of the amount of content you can really have in an omnibus. And Morrison's run, if they collect it in the way that I would collect it, it really is a 3-act story. It's Batman, Batman and Robin, and Batman Incorporated, and each act of the story is very separate from its each other one, which makes it a true trilogy. Like a true trilogy is not one continuous story; it's separate stories that intertwine with each other to form one big story. Less so Lord of the Rings and more so Into the Silent Planet. So this, like, his starts to step away from the Lord of the Rings style trilogy and more the other, where it's like there's a complete story that's told in his Batman stuff, and then another complete story that's told in his Batman and Robin, and then another complete story that's told in his Batman Incorporated. So I feel like it's very specifically needs to be broken down in that way, and in a very there's a very appropriate way to do it, and I think that DC is doing it the right way, and I'm really excited for that. As well on my list, I think I'll say 3 more that I think are really up there for me.
I'll tell you if you're right or not.
New Teen Titans Volume 3, the new printing that's fixing all the issues of the original, including bad binding. Runaways by Brian K. Vaughan, because it's a fucking phenomenal series, and I know that it's already out in oversized hardcover, and I do have the complete collections, but I want to honor it on my shelf in the omnibus format. And Batman 66.
Batman 66?
Yeah, I've been okay, so I've been wanting to read that series for so long, and I was very close to ordering all the trade paperbacks and just going that route. And then, like, after Adam West passed, I was like, this is a little wrong of me to think like this, but I'm pretty sure they'll release an omnibus at least to honor him. So I sat back and I was like, if they don't announce anything for about a year following his death, I'll just buy the paperbacks. And so they announced it, and I'm so excited because I have heard so much good about that series. It's written by Jeff Parker, which I absolutely love,
Mm-hmm.
from his work on like Red Hulk and Thunderbolts and Future Quest. And it has amazing covers by Mike Allred. So all around, this is a series that I have been looking forward to reading for a long time, and I cannot wait to have it on the shelf. But those are just a few of them that I'm really looking forward for in 2018. I know there's a ton of paperbacks that I'm looking forward to. And just next week, the Vision Deluxe hardcover comes out. So
Right, I'm excited for that one.
I'm gonna have to wait until after the Chewy stuff is done. If I can get a few extra bucks to purchase it, then I'll definitely get it. But I am definitely excited about that. That's a big one.
Yeah, I normally would pick up that Runaways Omni, but I have the 3 OHCs, and I lost those in the flood. And Eric Federchik, if I'm saying his last name right, who's a member of the Omnibus group, kindly sold me his that he before it was even an omnibus announced. So he just let me buy his out of the kindness of his heart. So I'm going to hold on to those because value for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's some other OHCs I wouldn't upgrade just because I love them so much. Wait, what was the other OHC that I think I think it did get announced for an omnibus, but I'm not seeing it right now. There is another OHC by Marvel. I'm not finding it right now, but I know I'm not going to upgrade because I love it in hardcover format. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Jason Aaron Wolverine too, and I'm looking forward to Venomnibus and the Carnage Omnibus.
Those are going to be fun. Did you read that Jerry Conway, the recent Carnage run?
No.
Oh man, I know Peter M recently talked about it in the group, and that kind of spurred a lot of attention from people. I've been talking about it since it started, just telling people like, check this out. It's so unexpectedly good. Like, because when they first said like, hey, we're giving Carnage an ongoing series, I was like, why? And then I read it and I was like, oh, this is really good. So
is it going to be included in the omnibus?
Yes. Yeah, that makes up maybe a third of the material in that omnibus, third to half of it.
Good. Okay, great. Because
the rest of it,
a guy I know virtually nothing about, and that's why I want to get the Omni, because I want to really dive deep into him.
it's all modern stuff it's like 2009 forward or something like that. Like every Carnage story from there. I think initially written by Zeb Wells. He was the one that wrote the first Carnage mini. And then it just goes forward and has like Carnage USA and the Axis Carnage series and which was the crossover, of course, with the Scarlet Spider. And then it has the Jerry Conway Carnage series, and the Conway one is just so good. Like the omnibus will be worth it for that alone, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. The Miles Morales omnibus from Gio saying that he's looking forward to that. That's going to be a good one.
I'm hoping they do a second one too, because it's got everything before Secret Wars, like before Miles comes into the main universe.
Uh-huh.
And there's definitely enough material after Secret Wars that they can do a whole second volume. And the post Secret Wars stuff has been really good as well. I'm gonna say all the Spider-Man related stuff is definitely Bendis's strongest output.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Irredeemable Volume 5, so I can read it and do a review of it. I'm really looking forward to that.
I still need to get Irredeemable. It's something I still haven't gotten to read yet.
Oh my goodness. What?
I know. I'm a sinner.
Holy crap-a-moly.
All the books I've read, and that's still one of them I haven't touched.
Oh, my chest actually hurts.
I'm
Yeah, that's my next thing on camera. On the show, I'll have a heart attack from Riley not having read Irredeemable.
I mean, at least it's not that I've read it and I'm telling you I didn't like it or something.
Well, no, that's true. That would really be a dagger in my heart.
Like, yeah, I read Irredeemable, but it's shit.
Then I would clutch my chest.
Be still, my heart.
Nick Muna is saying that you can't say stuff like that in front of me because I'm too old and frail.
Man, we got a really good year ahead of us. It looks like for collected editions.
Yeah,
because we really only know about like maybe half of the year, and there's already my list is probably about 30 books that I'm trying to get. So essentially, I'm sitting here like I don't know how I'm going to afford all those books.
Right. Well, I was counting on January and February to being light, but they're not light at all.
Well, my January was going to be light, but I had leftover from December. Like this entire haul that I showed off today was leftover from December, and I was using my January money for that. And then my first week of January basically wiped me out for my funds for January. Then I was going to sell stuff to buy the rest of my stuff for January, but then I'm selling stuff instead for Chewy. And so I don't know what I'm gonna do for. I know that February and March are looking to be a little slower, mostly because I'm not buying the Infinity Gauntlet box set.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, so that saves me like what, $250 if it's half off on in stock trades.
Right.
That's $250 I get to spend on Carnage Omnibus.
And a few others.
Nightfall Volume 3.
Oh my God, there's another dagger in my heart.
I mean, I already got the first two.
Well, you got to get 3 now.
I got Volume 2 with the really fat-looking Michelin Man Batman.
Yeah, that was a weird cover. He looks so weird.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the spine, but I'm remembering the cover too.
Yeah, that is an oddly drawn Azrael or whoever he was.
Yeah, it's the Azrael Batman.
Yeah.
What the hell, Kelly Jones? What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping the Harley Quinn 2 omnibus comes out to complete the New 52 run. I'd like to see Harley Quinn, the Carl Kessel. I'd like to see that get like 2 more OHCs because it's really only like the first 8 issues. I'd like to see a bunch of those.
I got a few other things that I can show off.
I'm looking forward to the Gotham City Sirens omnibus.
So I haven't gotten a chance to put any of this. I actually had to like rearrange my library after I got back from New York because I ran out of space for stuff.
Ooh, you have action figures?
And I got a couple of figures. I actually got all these X-Men figures I got from Robbie. I bought them from him in November, and I still haven't gotten to put them up, and I feel bad because he'll text me like, "Hey, have you gotten to pose all your stuff?" And then one of them I bought while I was in New York, but he found me Mr. Sinister.
Ooh.
From the Marvel Legends X-Men. Let's see, Danger. Also Marvel Legends X-Men. This was actually like wasn't Marvel Legends. This was before they had the. It was like Astonishing X-Men series of figures. I don't know. It was weird. got a Mystique. She's got a really big forehead. And then the one I was most excited about was Gambit.
You got all those from Robbie?
Yes.
He's
And
pretty much the king of posing figures, I think.
yeah, he does all of the like photography and stuff with the figures. I just put them on the shelf in a neat pose. And then this one I got while I was in New York at the Disney store. And it's really cool, but I haven't had the chance to pose him or anything. And that's the Planet Hulk figure.
Ooh.
So he's really big, actually, like a really nice sized figure.
I have a Planet Hulk figure, but I don't think it's as cool as that. Is that new?
This came out a couple months ago, I want to say.
Wow, I think that's cooler than the one I have, damn it.
It's a Disney Store exclusive that came out pretty recently. Marvel Select. It's like a $30 figure. They upped the price from the regular $25. So I'm pretty excited about this one. It comes with the shield and big ass axe.
Yeah, Chris asks, aren't I done buying figures? I might make an exception for this figure. That figure is boss.
It's pretty gorgeous. And then I'm like upset because I just saw the pre-orders went on sale for the next Marvel Legends series. It was the Deadpool series. I'm like, damn it, I need those for my collection, but I can't buy them.
Yeah, I just don't have any more room for pops or figures, even though I just got Tyler Blunt got me Gio will be happy to hear this. Medusa Legend. He found one in a Walgreens for me, and I love Medusa, so I had to get that. Let's see. The 10-inch Hulk. Oh, I need to get a hold of Fernando. He had a 10-inch Hulk for sale, and I bought it. That thing's massive. I'm really excited about that. I'll find room for those. I don't know. Actually, I don't know where I'm going to put that 10-inch Hulk. That thing is a big chunk of Hulk.
This guy's a big chunk of Hulk. Actually, I think the 10-inch Hulk is probably taller than this one.
That's a beautiful figure.
I wanted to display him next to the actual book, but I had to rearrange my shelves so I don't have all the space in between my books anymore, unfortunately.
Just stick him right in front of the book.
I think it's too big. He might fall off.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Maybe. I'll see. I was going to spend some of my day doing that kind of stuff, like arranging all the figures that I've taken off of my shelves and cleaning up my room, but actually I have to clean the house, and then I decided to do this with you instead of cleaning the house.
I think that and arranging your figures is a perfect use of your afternoon. Arranging figures is highly satisfying.
It's my life. I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
No one can tell me otherwise.
As long as she's not in the same house.
The only problem with this guy is, like, he can't really hold the axe very well. Because neither of his hands are, like, closed enough to actually grasp it. So this is, like, the best I can do. It's a really dope figure. And then if you want something else to be upset about not having any room for, they also just released a Spider-Gwen from Marvel Select. I know.
It's out on shelves now?
That's what I'm being told.
Let me see what that looks like. Spider Gwen Legend. Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to be able to. Whoops, I didn't. Spider Gwen Legend figure. Oh, okay. I have it at the edge of the Spider-Verse one. Yeah, she's over there.
Yeah, I've got the
But there's a
Legends.
new one?
It's select, so it's like because the Legends one is on a 6-inch scale and select is on a 7-inch scale.
Oh, select. Okay.
Yeah, with it's got higher uh production value.
Right.
I think it comes with a base.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like getting a tiny statue, basically.
Yeah. I see it. That looks cool.
I know, it's another thing to be upset that I can't buy.
Oh, and she comes with 3 heads. Is that the right thing I'm looking at?
Maybe.
I don't know. It does say Marvel. It's Spider Gwen Stacy. Oh, I wonder if that's a comic book cover.
The one that I'm seeing has 2 heads.
2 heads. Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want it.
yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at it now. The select. Yeah, it's on eBay. Oh, yeah. It is really cool. And they're not that expensive.
So Gio, I know, is in the chat right now when we're talking about sponsorship through Big Bad Toy Store. And because that's Big Bad Toy Store is where I order my, like, when I ordered those the whole sets of the Marvel Legends. Um so I ordered those from there, and I was joking around that it'd be cool to get a sponsorship from them, and Gio was mentioning that they require you to do 3 toy review videos per month. So you have to actually like spend money in order to get sponsored by them.
Okay.
And they give you a Gio just said he checked the email, and they don't send you toys, they give you a money discount on them.
And I buy them and review them.
Apparently that's what happens. But if we do it for the channel, then 3 people, like, I mean, it's 3 videos per month, I guess. And so like I could be like, look, I got this Hulk, and then you could be like, look, I got Spider-Gwen, and then like, you know, Gio could be, look, I got Aquaman, and then we'd be good.
Okay, I'm liking this already.
And we also need to get IKEA to sponsor us so we can get some more shelves
Right.
without mint on them.
Yeah, we do a lot of promotion for IKEA and for that that one Jasmine book holder that we're always promoting. For
I
you
never got one.
I did, yeah. They're pretty cool. I had to have it for a book like Goon.
So I'm just a man, and I just hold it up,
You are manly.
and then I flip the page and I hold it up like I'm reading the newspaper. Yeah, we need to get DCBS/IST and Big Bad Toy Store and IKEA, and what was the other one that I mentioned earlier? We were chatting with each other. I think Nintendo of America. That's it.
Nintendo. That'd be cool.
Yeah, if they want to send me some Switch stuff, I'll be like, yeah, I can. I played Mario for a good fucking 50 hours. I'll review that for you. It's good. End of review.
Me am enjoying it. The Bizarro review. Me am hate this game.
Video games are good. Good spelled G-U-D.
Right.
Hulk's skirt is a little wonky. I think it got messed up when he's been sitting in like the bag from the Disney store on my shelf since I got back from New York. This is the first time I pulled him back out.
See, I'd leave that in the kitchen for a while until my wife kicked it out.
I don't think my wife would like it.
No, but she allows me to display them for a while, and then I think, oh, she's ignoring it now. I can stay, and then she'll say, "No, where's this supposed to go?" Well, sweetie, it looks good right there. No, it really doesn't.
It's the polite way of saying, "Get this shit out of here." My wife for a long time, she had Chewy's like bowls in here to eat. I don't know why. Like she just decided that Chewy was gonna eat his dinner in here, and she kept it here for a while. And then one day I just put it in our bedroom, and she was like, "Well, I guess this belongs here now." And I was like, "Yep."
Little victories.
It was making my room smell like dog food.
Yeah.
So I mean I love my dog, but I don't like the smell of dog food.
Yeah, I think the next video game I'm looking forward to is going to be Assassin's Creed Origins. My daughter and I want to get through Uncharted first, and then the add-on with the women that are fighting, and then we'll get Assassin's Creed. Because that's a perfect game for us, because she likes to do the sneaking around, and I like to do the fighting, and I hate sneaking around. So that's a perfect game for us.
Does she hate the fighting?
Yeah. Fighting, she'll be sneaking around, and then fighting happens. She'll go, "Oh no, here." Hey, don't panic! Don't panic.
I like jumping off of the roofs and stuff.
Right. Jumping from roof to roof. Right.
That was always enjoyable pastime for me.
Yeah, I always let her handle any kind of roof hopping in Uncharted.
I never got to play Uncharted. My wife played through all of them. I bought them all, and then she played them, and I didn't even watch her play it. And she was just like, "All right, I'm done with these."
There's a lot of sneaking around in Uncharted, so my daughter's very happy with it.
Very fond of the sneaky games.
Yeah, and I hate sneaking around. That's why I'm stuck on The Last of Us, because I got into a sneaky part where I keep getting killed, and I may need to get my daughter to help me with it. She's so good at being stealth. I'm just too impatient. I want to charge in and kill.
Oh, gee. Okay. I think I'm going to have to go and start cleaning the rest of the house before my wife gets home.
Oh, what? But we're having such fun, and you're getting ready to pose your action figures.
Well, I know if I don't go now, then when Megan gets home, she's going to be like, "What the fuck have you been doing since I left?" She was here for lunch, and then she left, and she was like, "All right, well, here's the list of things we need to do."
What time does she get home?
It depends on if she's getting off early today. She hasn't texted me, but she usually gets off at 5 and gets home by like 5:30. So I've got about 2 hours.
Oh.
But I have to do all of the laundry and I have to do the kitchen and everything. So it's like just enough time to do.
I guess for your own safety, you should probably end this.
Yeah. I don't want to die and or end up single by next week.
Yeah, no, so, I'm feeling you there.
But I will definitely get these guys displayed, and then next week's show, I should be on Thursday. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. My dog's healthy, my wife is healthy, I'm healthy, and we're not going anywhere. So I should be on there, and we'll choose a good topic. And I don't think I'll have my next package by Monday, so maybe I can join on the next Monday show because I have my package with the Deadpool and Company omnibus coming in.
Yeah, mine hasn't. I just ordered it yesterday, so I doubt mine will be in time for the Monday show.
Actually looking forward to that book. I know a lot of people are like, "Meh," but I read that material before,
What's in it?
and it's
Got team
mostly
ups and stuff.
do what?
It's got Marvel team ups or Deadpool team ups.
So so I'm just gonna start walking around the house with the computer so I can start on stuff while I talk. But so basically around the time about the middle of Daniel Way's run on Deadpool, there was where Marvel decided that the character was popular enough to start oversaturating him in media and in the comics. So there was a lot of like tie-ins and stuff. And then eventually they just decided to launch a secondary Deadpool ongoing series, which was the Merc with the Mouth by Victor Gischler. And did you read Merc with a Mouth?
No.
So basically that series spun out of, like, the idea was Deadpool meets what they were calling Headpool, which was the zombified head of, or the head of the zombie Deadpool from the Marvel Zombies books. So they meet each other, and there's like all this interdimensional crossover, stuff going on. And it deals with kind of Deadpool and Headpool versus AIM. And you meet, because there's Bob, Agent of Hydra, and then they also introduced Bill, Agent of AIM. And it's just a fun little series. It's not like, the greatest thing that ever happened, but it was really fun. And honestly, I preferred it a lot more than the Daniel Way series at the time. I'm trying to make sure that which sweaters I have that can't be machine dried.
Yeah, be careful of that.
Especially if it's like my wife's sweater.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten in trouble multiple times for that. So anyway, his run continued with Deadpool Core, which was the basic premise behind that was there are 5 different Deadpools and they team up to do something that one Deadpool can't do.
Mm.
So it's still written by Victor Gischler, and it had artwork by Rob Liefeld. So you get this nice dose of Rob returning to the character, and I mean, his art is what it is. And then in between the two, he had Prelude to Deadpool Core, which was like introducing all the different Deadpools. And it was regular, vanilla Deadpool, and then Headpool, Lady Deadpool, Dogpool, and Kidpool were the 5 different Deadpools.
So this is where we see Lady Deadpool?
Yes, and there's a Lady Deadpool one-shot that came out as well.
Mm.
And that's included in here. And they also included the Marvel Zombies 4 series, because that's where Zombie Deadpool really played a role, and it shows him coming into the Marvel Universe proper, kind of leading into his role in the Deadpool Merc with a Mouth series. So that's a 4-issue miniseries, 13 issues of Merc with a Mouth, 5 issues of Deadpool Prelude to Deadpool Core, and then 12 issues of the Deadpool Core makes up for the most of the omnibus. And then the other part is the 18 issues of Deadpool Team Up. And Deadpool Team Up started up, they had, around this time that this series started up, there was like every Marvel book was getting its big anniversary issue. It was like Captain America 600, Spider-Man 600, Hulk 600, and I think like maybe Wolverine had a big one around the time. And So Marvel was like, oh, well, let's make a joke issue, and they did Deadpool number 900, and it was just like a one shot with a bunch of short stories in it that really had no connection to anything. And continuing from that, they started Deadpool Team Up as the third ongoing Deadpool series at the time, and it started going backwards. So it went 899, 898, etc.
Oh, that's why that's like that.
Yeah, and it ended somewhere around like 883 or something like that. So that's all inside of the Deadpool and Company omnibus, and it was written, every single issue was Deadpool by a different writer and a different artist teaming up with a different character, but usually they weren't that well known of characters. Like it would be like Deadpool teams up with Hellcow and stuff like that.
Who? Hellcow?
I'm gonna look up like 898 because it started out 899 with Hercules, and then it turned the 898. The next one is Deadpool and the Zapata brothers, which are like a couple of like wrestling characters, and then Deadpool and Ghost Rider, so it goes back to a more recognizable character. Then Deadpool and US Ace. I have no idea who US Ace is, but it's a gun-toting raccoon. No.
What?
No. Never mind. No. The raccoon was Rocket Raccoon. I was like, why is there another character that's exactly like Rocket Raccoon? US Ace is a galaxy hopping trucker. And then the next one, the Living Colossus. Oh, there was a Frankencastle issue. I forgot about that. So there were some good ones in there. Captain Britain, that's a pretty big one. Satana. Mr. X.
So this sounds like a good book.
It's pretty fun. It's got a lot of different writers in there. James Asmus, Frank Thierry, what's his name, who co-wrote Incredible Hercules. Fred Van Lente writes an issue. Jeff Parker does a Gorilla Man issue. So it's just a lot of fun, different one-off stories. Cullen Bunn does an issue with Deadpool and the Thing. So I guess there was a lot more well-known characters than I thought, because there's one with Thor by Rob Williams. Iron Fist. Wow, I was way off base. Like, there's a few unknown characters in there, but a lot of them are actually... Here it is, number 885, Deadpool Team Up guest starring Hellcow.
That's going to be the first story I read. I want to know who Hellcow is.
And then there's one by with The Watcher. And I think this is the last one. Yeah, Scotty Young with Ramon Perez does Deadpool teaming up with Galactus. And that's the last issue. So the pretty good amount of
great book. Yeah, that sounds like a good, thick, fun book.
Yeah, it really is going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the Victor Gischler stuff that I did read. I didn't read all of Deadpool Core, and I didn't read all of Team Up, but I did enjoy what I had read about that time. And like I said, I enjoyed it a lot better than the Daniel Way Deadpool stuff at the time. So it was a nice alternative to that series. So if you did enjoy Daniel Way's Deadpool, I feel like this is something that you'd enjoy even more. So that's the big thing I got coming, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. But my package still hasn't even shipped.
Yeah, so, no, as I say, I won't have anything to show on Monday.
So I'll probably do the next Monday, but I do plan on doing Thursday. But anyway, I'm going to continue cleaning my house to make... Oh, check it out. I got a little tiny confetti penis.
What?
It was left over from my sister's bachelorette.
I I'm sorry I missed that party.
Yeah, I was here for most of it.
Oh, that's right. You were supposed to drive them around, right?
Yeah, I was driving them around, so like I drove them around, and I came back here and hung out for a little bit because the girls didn't care. They were like, they thought it was funny, and like it's funny because it's the one chance that you have to make penis jokes, and they actually think it's funny. They're like, ha ha ha, dicks, ha ha ha.
All right, dude. Well, it's been good talking to you.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with me,
Absolutely. This was a great time.
and I guess I will talk to you later, and hopefully I'll be on for next Thursday, and we'll figure something fun to talk about, and maybe we can get that Big Bad Toy Store sponsorship.
Nice. We'll figure out a strategy for that.
All right. All right. See everybody later. Thanks for joining us in this random discussion day.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace and love. Peace and love. We appreciate you guys watching.
All right. And I am signing off. Adios.